Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm here to show you my favorite options trading strategy to have fun and also possibly make a lot of money. So the options trading strategy I'm going to show you today is one where you can make a lot of money, but it also is very risky. But if you have a little bit of money you want to have fun with, I'd really suggest this. And yeah, so if you guys do enjoy these videos, be sure to smash that like button. Also subscribe to the channel. I'd very much appreciate it. We're almost at 200 subscribers. We're 3 away as of recording this. So let's make that 200 happen. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get right into it. So as you can see today, good day in the portfolio. We're up almost a percentage point. Can't complain. But the strategy that I want to get into today has to do with earnings. So it's earnings season right now. A lot of stocks are reporting earnings. I don't have any that reported yet, but there are a lot of stocks that are reporting earnings and coming out with good numbers. They're coming out with bad numbers. Most of the time, stocks come in with the numbers that, were there for the guidance, or near that number. So most of the time, stocks are going to come in pretty close to where their earnings were projected to be. You can see this reflected in the graphs right here. You can see Google, for example, is the stock that we're going to be using as an example because they have earnings tomorrow, actually, after hours. So this is very good. I mean, this is a time sensitive video because Google is the stock that I'm going to be doing this with, and Google is the stock that I think you can make a lot of money with. So the one that we see here is, Google is pretty much coming in close on all these earnings. You could see this one, they beat earnings by a lot, and this was reflected in the stock price. Their stock made a very good jump. So a lot of the times they do just fall in with the guidance, but there's a lot of things that go into it. There's meetings that are had that where Google can say, oh, we're putting more time into this, and they say a few buzzwords like AI, and maybe, we're investing more into AI, and we're getting more into AI. The more they say about AI usually means that the stock is going to go up more after earnings. No, it's all jokes, but I do think that Google is going to go up a lot after earnings. And to act on that, I can use the strategy that I have, I've learned it from a YouTuber named Trading Fraternity. So shout out to him for this strategy. I kind of just put my own spin on it. So what this strategy is what I use is Market Chameleon. So this is a site that I highly suggest. I can put a link to it in the description. This has, they have a pro feature, but a lot of features on here are free. A lot of them are pretty good, actually, surprisingly good for a free version of anything you can get these days. But we can see that they have one in the earnings tab. I'm already on Google, but they have a tab in the earnings thing called earnings moves. So that's, this is showing what happened after Google's last earnings. You need the pro to see all of that. But what I like to look at is implied moves and IV. So we can see that going into earnings, Google's last earnings implied volatility going into earnings was 42.6, and last time they released earnings, it dropped to 30.7. This is an implied volatility crush of 28%. So 5 days after earnings, the 30-day IV was 27.7. So volatility crush is very important when you're investing into stocks for earnings. This is one that you got to put that into your projection, which I'll show you guys in a second. But you need to add that to your projection because if you don't, you're going to be disappointed and you're probably going to lose a lot of money or not make as much as you thought you were going to make. So we can see the average implied volatility crush for Google after earnings is 27%. This is after the last 12 quarters, so it's pretty reasonable. But then I like to look at release dates. So this is the one I like to look at most. So we can see that after Google's earnings, they dropped 7.5%, they rose 10%, dropped 5%, rose 2%, dropped 7%, rose 1.7%. So that's what we're basing our guideline off of. Google on average is not moving that much after earnings, surprising enough. But what I want to see right now, so I mean, this is another thing you can do is look at, the earnings calendar. I like that. So you can see Tesla, Google, AT&T. So Tesla and Google are reporting after hours. So these are big companies that have a lot of volatility on their options. So that's why I like them for investing in this earnings strategy. But let's look at option strat. So option strat is you can create options on here. This is a very good tool if you are into investing in options. Highly suggest it. But let's look at the Google stock on option strat, and their earnings are tomorrow. So let's do one that's 10 days out just to kind of save the IV crush a little bit. But we can see that Google's implied volatility is very high right now. It's 51%. We can see if we go back to Market Chameleon and their implied moves in IV Crush. Or where's the IV Crush? Here it is. So it's 27% IV Crush. So that's just what I'm saying. You have to factor that in after. So the strategy that I do is I take Google's average move after earnings, or any stock for that matter, but their predicted move after the earnings amount, or after the earnings announcement, was 6.3% on average versus an average actual earnings move of 5.8%. So let's call it 6%. Google on average moves 6% after earnings. So if we look at Google stock right now, it's $192. We can say that 6%, that's about maybe a $200 call, $205 call, or $202 call and 50 cents is closer than that. But we'll say 205. So, or we'll say $202.05 for this Google call. So as we can see on here, it is a very similar price to Option Strat. Option Strat is not 100% accurate, but it is very close. My Wi-Fi is very bad right now. But we're going to see that Google, now it's 9 days out. If we go to this one, so yeah, it's $257 on here. It's $255 on there. So you can see the delta on this is very low. This is not very likely to happen. That's to say the least. But Google's average move was this. So this could happen. But what we're going to do is we're going to double that. So Google's average move is 6%. We're going to say about after earnings, the last 12 quarters. So we're going to take that 6% and we're going to double it. So we're going to say Google rises 12% or drops 12%. So this is where you can, use your judgment on which options you want to buy. But so Google's at $190 right now. We're going to say that, 12%, we take $192, we add, that's around $212.50. So this is a very cheap option for Google. $90. So this is very cheap. And then let's also see what the puts are looking like. We'll look at that after, but the call for Google is very cheap, $90. And you can see that the reward on this is insane. So this is with the implied volatility. This is why I said pay attention, because you see the implied volatility drops 27% on average after earnings. So it's 51% right now, but the option, so look at these numbers. I mean, this is insane. Google can rise 4% and you'll make, you're going to make, $60. You're going to almost double your money for Google rising 4%. Sadly not. So IV is going to drop 27%, which is sad to see. But you see Google has to make now this 11%, 12%. They have to make an 11% move for you to make money. So that's why the implied volatility, factoring that in, is very important. I didn't used to do that, and I'd look at Option Strat and be like, wow, I'm going to make a lot of money tomorrow, and the IV crush is a very real thing. And if Google doesn't move in the direction you predicted, you're gonna lose money. Unless it rebounds and some crazy news comes out right after earnings that nothing was true, then you're gonna lose money. But let's also buy a put. So we want about $20 in the north direction. Let's go $20 in the south direction. We can see if Google moves 12% in either direction, we're making a lot of money. We're doubling our money if Google moves 12% in either direction. But if they only move 7% in one direction, we're losing half of our money. If they move 4%, we're losing pretty much all of our money. And that can be in either direction. It can move 4%. So if Google doesn't come out with an amazing earnings or horrible earnings, we're going to lose money. That's just how it works. You can see the break evens are very, very far. I mean, I'm not hoping, or I wouldn't plan on holding these options till expiration. I'd sell them after earnings, hopefully. But I mean, you can see right here that Google would have to move a lot after earnings. That's what this strategy is built off of. This is a strategy that's meant for if you think Google is, any stock for that matter, if you think it's going to move more than average, if you think, they're going to have a crazy earnings for some reason because they're going to drop some news that their Waymo technologies are advancing and they're just passed in China a bill where they're going to be government funded with $1 billion. And Google stock is probably going to rise, 20-30% after earnings. This is just an insane number to make off of $170. I mean, just look at the figures here. You're going from 3 figures to 4 figures, which you're going bottom end of 3 figures to pretty middle 4 figures. So it's not horrible, And I mean, even if Google comes out and they say, oh, we just found out that a lot of our, technology actually isn't working and we're losing money and their projections are weak for, the next quarter. They lower their projections, then Google drops 20%. You're 20xing your money. You're more than 20xing your money, almost 25xing your money. So that's why if you think a stock is going to have a big earnings in either direction, I mean, no one ever knows. If everyone knew, oh, this stock is going to have a big earnings, then everyone would buy it. But this has happened before. This has happened a lot of times. People have bought. I was not fortunate enough to get in on this, but ARM is a stock that was really cheap, and I mean, I was contemplating. I still think about this. I was contemplating buying options on ARM. It might have been over a year ago now. Yeah, I think it was. They were just a brand new stock, and they just, this is where it happened right here. Actually, I remember. I was right here. It might have been even lower, but they were a brand new stock, and they were pretty cheap. And I was thinking, they're having earnings. I want to run this strategy on it. I want to try it out and see how it goes. They went from $53 and ARM, I mean, just right after that, they went to 140. If I had a call option on that out of the money, the amount of money I would have made is unfathomable. And then they went all the way up to 181 after that too. And I mean, ARM, that was one where you would have gotten, honestly rich if you just had put in a little bit of money on that one. And I mean, now their market cap is almost 200 billion. When I was putting it in there, it was under 100 billion. I think it was under 50 billion. So yeah, I mean, anything can happen with this strategy. You can see that right there, and I think the numbers they came out with weren't even that crazy, but they just beat projections, and they put some news out there that they're gonna their numbers are going up in the future as well. So I don't know. I mean, I think the strategy is a really good one. If you're willing to lose the money you're gonna put in, you have to be willing to lose that money. You can't be married to it. It could all go away. But I do think that the risk versus reward on this is great. If you're willing to lose $170 if Google doesn't rise or drop 12%, the risk versus reward is amazing. You can put more money in. You can buy two of each option and, make $340 instead if Google rises 11%. I mean, it's once it really starts rising, like once it quadruples its projection, then that's when you're going to make a lot of money. You're going to 10x your money. But I mean, you can see that an 100x is possible with this. I mean, if Google did rise 50%, or did rise, an insane amount. I mean, anything can happen or drop the same amount. I mean, you could 100x your money with this one. So I really don't hate this option strategy. I really do like it. And I think that with Google, this is a great time to get it. This is a great time to do it. I mean, Google's looking very cheap. I think they're going to have a banger earnings in their stock. It's going to be hard to get for cheaper after. So I'd buy some Google stock. Like, I've made a lot of videos on Google stock and Waymo Technologies and how Waymo is going to be the leading autonomous driving system or brand or company or whatever you want to call it in the near future. And I think that a lot of money is going to be made with that. A lot. That is the future. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for today. I'd say try the strategy out if you're willing. If you have $170 just sitting in cash, next to your $10,000 portfolio, maybe it's $1,000 portfolio, but you're willing to risk it, so try this out. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you for watching this video. I hope that this strategy goes good. We'll see what happens. If you did enjoy it, be sure to like it. Also subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.